June here in North Texas, and today we're going to take a garden tour. Today I have with me my friend Lisa, who I'm going to be giving a tour at the same time. Yeah, there's Lisa. All right, so come on, let's take a look. Off camera, Lisa just asked me, what is this? And what this is sweet potatoes. And normally I buy sweet potato slips, which is what these are called, sweet potato slips. I buy them from a company, and then you plant them and they grow sweet potatoes. But this year, just the sweet potatoes that I grew last year, they were in the garage on shelves, and I noticed they started growing these sprouts, and so I clipped them off the sweet potatoes and I put them in water and they made roots, and that's what I've did. So I didn't have to buy slips this year.
Even better.
Yeah. Now this bed is a medicinal plant called yarrow, and I harvested a whole lot of it I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and I have it drying, and it's time to harvest again. I'm going to be selling the dried yarrow on my farm shop, so be ready for that.
What's it good for?
Well, for instance, let's just say, for instance, that I had a graphic tractor accident and I had a big gash in my leg and I was bleeding out. I could come over here and get a bunch of yarrow leaves just like this and put it on the gruesome gash, and it would stop bleeding. And then there's other things that it's good for, like as a tea or as a tincture.
Okay.
I'm not an herbalist or anything. I just learn as I go along. These little yellow flowers here are calendula. This bed used to be half calendula and half yarrow, and obviously the yarrow completely took over. So I'm actually starting more calendula seeds at home, and I will plant another bed full of calendula. Here in this bed we have mostly bell peppers, and you see a bunch of these volunteer zinnias. I didn't start any zinnias this year, so all these that you see are volunteers. And then what I have growing up onto that trellis there is cantaloupe. Another bed of tomatoes. See if there's any of these.
There's a couple over here that have turned.
Yeah, these are Roma tomatoes, so these are ones that you make sauce out of. And any of the ones, oh, look down here, look, woohoo, look down there. You gotta reach down, you know. Can you reach
Oh,
up?
wow, yeah.
All right, we're gonna take a break and go get the harvest basket. Stand by. We're back with the harvest basket. This reminds me of every time I go to a garden store and I think I'm just gonna pick up a couple of things so I don't get a basket, and then I end up going back for a basket. All right, there's tons of tomatoes in here. So with these sauce tomatoes, what I'll do is I leave them out on the counter until they get super red, and then I freeze them in gallon bags. And then at the end of the season, when I have all my tomatoes, I pull them all out and I process them into sauce or tomatoes or whatever I'm gonna do with them at one time, and I can them all at one time, rather than canning this day and then the next day and the day after that. I've tried to put just one type of tomato in one bed, so like it'd be all Romas in one bed, and then beefsteak in another bed, and mushroom basket in another bed. One thing about garden season is that tomatoes grow and cantaloupes grow and garlic grows and everything, but also weeds grow. So you're battling everything all at once. All of these zinnias just volunteer. There were zinnias here last year in the garden, and then they just dropped seeds and then they grew this year. So God bless zinnias. It isn't that I'm better at growing tomatoes this year versus last year, it's the weather. So tomatoes, they're very intolerant of frost. And so if you have a late frost, it'll take out all your tomatoes. And then once it gets to where it's over 91 degrees, I think it is, they won't set fruit anymore, like the flowers won't pollinate. And even the tomatoes that you have on the vine, when it's over 90, whatever it is, 91 degrees, they won't ripen. So here in Texas, as you can imagine, you know, we have frost through March something, and then it's in the 90s pretty fast. I mean, it is already. So I don't anticipate that the plants will create a lot more fruit. Now the fruit that is on here will ripen. because let's say it gets up to a high of 90 and it's 90 for 5 or 6 hours. It is ripening the rest of the hours. But the fact that I have more tomatoes this year is not on me at all. It's just the weather. I usually just can them as plain canned whole tomatoes because that leaves me with the most options. So if I want to do pasta sauce or something Italian, then I can add those at the time that I am cooking, or if I want to do Mexican, or if I want to make tomato soup, whatever it is I want to do, I can do it with plain tomatoes. But if I already made it canned spaghetti sauce or something, then I would be committed to Italian. You know what I mean?
Few that are hiding. I know I stared
Up there. There's some right there. This whole bed is a volunteer. So,
Oh, wow, really?
yep. These are butternut squash.
Yeah, I see one right there.
Yep, they're all over the place. And I grew them last year. And I didn't replant them this year. But they just grew. And so I was like, okay, well, knock yourself out.
I think I might have sliced some of these up and air fried them the other night.
Can you, here. What I'd like to do is, here, I'll give you one and I'll take one. Without breaking the vine, that's, try and get it through. Yeah, just. This bed was broccoli. It's way too hot for broccoli in this part of the year, but this grew broccoli back in the winter. Then I cut off all the main heads and took them home, and I think I actually gave them away, but I left the plants here because they make these yellow flowers and the bees love them. And so I left them here while I was in Scotland, and then now the flowers are mostly spent. And so what I'm doing, 1 or 2 each visit, is I'm pulling one of these out and feeding the plants to the chickens. And then this bed will be empty and I will plant something out here. Every time I turn a bed over, I put 1 or 2 bags of organic compost on the bed, and that's all the fertilization they get. Here's another bed of sauce tomatoes, lots to harvest. Oh, this one's mushy. If they touch the ground, they get mushy, which is usually why you trellis up tomatoes. And I did trellis up all the tomato cages that I had, but I just simply didn't have enough. This is plantain, not like the banana things that you see at resorts on the breakfast buffet, but the medicinal plant. So you can see that I harvested this and I have it drying at home, and I will harvest more of that, and I'll be making salve and whatnot. It's really soothing for the skin. This bed, this is a plant called mullein, M-U-L-L-E-I-N. It's also a medicinal plant. I have not harvested any of that yet, but here, why don't we? Where did the snippers go?
Oh, it's kind of like soft fuzzy.
Yeah. Harvest some, and I will take it home and grow it, or dry it rather, and process it. The other things in this bed are, this is cantaloupe, and this is Swiss chard. This is another thing, if you want any sort of green or Swiss chard, I have so much of that. And then look over here. Do you see the 2?
That one's like stuck.
It is. I was going to say, I'm going to push that way. Will you try and pull that out without disconnecting it from the... Like rest it on top of the wood there.
Okay.
Excellent.
That's fun.
Yeah. Here we have 3 cantaloupes. The last bed in this row is the rest of the peppers, bell peppers from the other bed. And then these right here, this is one of the peppers that I had Brian try.
Oh, from
Yeah.
Spain.
Yeah. I bought this seed packet in Barcelona on the Rambles, and I wasn't sure if it was a hot pepper or a sweet pepper. And so I had Lisa's husband Brian try it as a guinea pig to see if it was hot. It wasn't. This is squash, zucchini and also yellow squash. So in Texas, squash vine borers and squash bugs, which transmit funguses and things like that, they're just a fact of life unless you're going to spray, which we just won't. So let me show you these things. Do you see? Those are the little eggs. Those are for the squash bugs, I believe. And then also there's squash vine borers. Let me come over here so you can see it better. Like this plant looks like it, I don't know, doesn't have enough water or something, but that's not it. First of all, do you see all those squash bugs? They're just everywhere. And they are, you know, sucking the life out of the plant, quite literally. So how you combat that here in Texas is you just plant early enough and enough plants that you get enough produce before these bugs take your plant. Because unless you're gonna use poisons, it's just how it's gonna be.
happen.
Here's a good example of squash vine borer damage. You can see they go in here. Oh, is there that much water over there?
Yeah, there is.
Wow. They eat into the vine of the plant and they make babies in there. And if you were to open that up, it would either be completely hollow or you would see little worm babies. So these are all about to come out because this one's about done. It's not gonna make any more fruit. So I will pull this out sometime over the next week or so and get it ready for the next crop.
Is this pickable?
It is. Just twist it. There you go. These are echinacea, and I don't know how much the sound is picking up, but there are bees all over this. As you're standing here, that's all you can hear is bees buzzing. And then they have bright orange pollen pants on that they will take back to the hive. Echinacea, you probably know, is a medicinal plant. And I've read that that all parts of the plant are medicinal, but it seems like most of the products and whatnot that you see are made from the root. So probably I'll wait till the end of it and I'll cut them down. I'll harvest some of the root. These started, there were not very many echinacea plants to start with and they just spread. So I will harvest some of the roots and make product out of that. Here on the other end of the echinacea bed, this was poor planning on my part. I got comfrey cuttings from De Klerk Homestead. And they take over the world, quite literally. I've already very recently cut all these down and do what they call chop and drop, where you just chop all the leaves off and then you just lay them on top of the soil somewhere on another bed and they just fertilize the heck out of the soil.
Oh, wow.
So I'll do that again today. If I have time, I'll come over here and just chop all these down again and I'll pick a bed and I'll just lay them on there. Comfrey is also a medicinal plant. You've may have heard of like comfrey tea or things like that. It's also very soothing and whatnot. This is another bed of sweet potato slips that I planted. They're doing great. I planted it and then it proceeded to rain and rain and rain, so that's always great. The irrigation, this is my first season with irrigation, and it's fantastic. It makes the plants grow and it also makes the weeds grow. This is another squash bed. It was planted later than the other one, so it's not as far into the cycle of the pests, so it's still nice and healthy, as you can see. You can hear bees around it because the bees love the squash blossoms. Yep, here is the, look at that.
Oh, wow.
But see, you can see that it's gonna start. There's some eggs right there. It won't be long before we're taking these guys. Out here, I harvest them sooner than I would in the home bed because here I'm not back for 3 or 4 days, whereas at home I can check it every day. Oh look, here's another one.
Here's one.
Look at this one.
Oh, wow.
I'll be making a run tomorrow morning to local good pantry. When I start getting backed up on produce, I make a run and leave it at their door.
I bet they like that.
Yeah, they know who I am now, so they usually send me an email that day.
Do you have a Nonsense Farm sticker?
Well, many times, like what I'm taking it in is an Amazon box, and it still has my name on it.
Oh.
Which for most purposes I would take the address off, but. And then this is our last raised bed that has stuff in it. And then we'll move on to the in-ground garden, which is also amazing. Just tomatoes, and I think this has more than one kind of tomato in it, I think. Another little bonus in this bed is I planted chamomile down here. And of course it's all hidden, so it's not gonna do anything until these tomatoes are done. But look at all those tomatoes, do you see them? Ooh, yeah. A minute ago, Lisa asked me why I have all these beds with nothing in them down here. So I always wanted this garden to have this many garden beds. And the last row, I got tired of building these beds, and so I bought these Vigo beds. I bought them one by one. I would save up credit card points, order the Vigo bed, and then order another one. But they take, seriously, minutes to put together. They're gonna endure a lot longer than the ones that I made. Another thing that I did differently over here is, do you see how the landscape cloth goes just a couple of inches in under the bed on all sides? So we won't get those weed situations over here because it's more, it's overlapped.
You grow and learn.
Exactly. And the other thing is, for instance, the one that has garlic in it, or had garlic in it, that has all those weeds in it. So I think what I'm gonna do over there is I'm gonna cover it up with a silage tarp, let all the weeds die. Then, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pry that bed up, throw it away, hump up all the soil around it. I'm gonna get one of these beds, put it together,
Just plop it.
and put it over it. But the other thing I'm gonna do is put a row of the landscape cloth to where it overlaps what's there and is underneath the bed. So one by one, as you know, depending on the condition of each bed, I'll do exactly that. I'll take it out, hump it up, put the new bed on. So eventually. Now these beds are a few dollars more expensive than what it cost me in materials to build those, but those would take me like an hour a piece at least, and these take me no time at all.
Very nice.
Yeah. All right, over to the in-ground garden. See what's going on over there. And over here is the in-ground garden. So, oh, you know what I need? I need a bucket.
Are they in your thing?
You know, I think they're in the car. So we'll wait to do it later. So for right now, just pick however many you want to eat. But there's beautiful, beautiful blackberries.
This is like, these grew wild up and down my grandpa's driveway. He had like a long half-mile driveway, and we would walk to get his mail and just pick these and eat them.
These did not grow wild. These first few,
this is so good.
I either bought the plant or I rooted the plant from one of my plants at home. And then further down, that I'll show you in a minute, I rooted those plants from these plants. And eventually, I would like this whole section to be different berries and perennials and whatnot.
And it's like nothing pulling something fresh off of a vine. I used to do that even with my grandpa's green beans. And we'd just eat them raw. So good.
So every time I'm out here, I mean, you can see there's a ton of berries, and they were just thoroughly harvested on, I think it was Friday. And this is Monday.
Really?
It may have been Saturday. The question is, was it Friday or Saturday?
But still.
I mean, look at all these.
Oh, your rain gauge.
Yes, so let's see. What is that, 2.5 inches? Let's see.
Yep. 2.5 to 3.
Yeah, a little over 2.5, not quite 3. And the other thing I have to keep in mind with that rain gauge is, you know, when it rains, hey Celeste! Celeste is here. We're gonna be getting in the bees in just a little minute. Once it rains, then if I'm out here a couple days later, some of that has evaporated. All right, so down here, Lisa, so you see, here's blackberry plants like this.
Sorry, I was still eating.
Yeah, that's fine. Take all the blackberries you want to eat.
They're so good.
Yeah. You can see there's blackberry plants. I rooted these over the winter and then planted them in the spring. They're rootings that I took from there.
Are you gonna make preserves again?
Oh yeah, I've already got over a gallon frozen at home. And so, you know, through the fall or next spring, I'll put these wires up just like I did over there, and then next year these will make blackberries. All right, so you can see there's plants all the way down there. These are elderberry plants.
They're pretty umbrella plants.
So I've never grown elderberries before, so I don't know. Like, it seems like what happens is they become these ball things, then they become these flower things, and then this is what happens. So I don't know if I mean, that doesn't look like berries to me. So I don't know. Oh look, there's bees on the elderberry.
There's some fun bees over there with orange.
So I don't know like where the berries come from. I don't know.
That's something, hey.
I guess we'll figure it out. That's right. All right, let's go over here and take a look at future plants. Oh, right there's a blueberry.
And I can see little berries.
Yeah, and that's lemon balm. And then this is a lavender plant that is trying to find its place in the world. This row, I don't know if you see that thing sticking out of the ground down there.
The two things sticking out?
Yeah, that's one tool.
Okay.
And the name of it is escaping me right now, but I'll think of it in a minute. But it basically works the soil. Tilling, you know, isn't good for soil, but this loosens up the soil. When the soil is wet, it is a ton of work. You know how like horrible and clay the soil is out here. I did this whole row when it was just clay, muddy mess. Then I spread buckwheat seeds. That's what all that is buckwheat. And my buckwheat is a cover crop. It'll improve the soil, it'll suppress weeds, and also it's good bee forage. So that's why I chose it. And then my next plan for world domination is I'm gonna take that silage tarp back one more row, and I'm gonna try just spreading the buckwheat seed without broad fork. That's what it's called, a broad fork. Without broad forking, and see if it, you know, how it does. Because if I can just spread the buckwheat seed and have it take root without having the broad fork, that would be great.
All right, back a couple of things.
Yeah.
Why is tilling not good?
Well, because what makes the magic in soil is all of the multitude of life that's in the soil. And all those life, imagine they have a whole world down there. They have little bitty tunnels and all these microscopic things under there. And when you come through and you till the soil, then it destroys that. It's like a nuclear bomb on their little world under the soil. And then all of a sudden the soil is like dead because you just killed everything. And then that's when you have to use fertilizers and stuff like that. So you want to not till the soil, but sometimes you do need to work the soil, but without destroying things. And so that's where broad fork comes in.
And a comment, just because I know it'll be edited out.
Now watch, I totally am not doing it, but go ahead.
Make sure when you move this, you make a straight line.
Oh.
And the tarp, I mean, I can't stand this crooked.
Lisa's referring to the commenters that comment on my lack of straight lines at Nonsense Farm. But yeah, get over it, it's fine. So yeah, that's what's going on over here. And then the other garden beds are at home, and maybe we'll show you those on another garden tour. I think this one is long enough, but yeah, eventually I would like to have all this covered in buckwheat, because then the bees could forage on it. And blackberry plants are like $15 a piece. And so obviously to fill up this whole thing, it would be quite the investment. So I'm just doing it little by little. and rooting them every winter. And then as I get another row's worth, I irrigate that row. So all those blackberries, they're all irrigated. And I'll just do it little by little. And that's what we do. So there we go. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. It's not lost on me. Please click like, please subscribe, and I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Go plant something.